Okay, it's recording.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the DAO meeting for Effect Network on the 22nd of December, March 2023. Um, do we have any items on the agenda today?
It does not look like anybody added any. I'm in it right now.
Okay, cool. So we can just have more of an open, quick sync discussion, I guess. Um, I guess we have proposals right now in the that are in review, I guess. Processing.
Yeah, let's talk about them. So the ATP, is it just gonna be the transaction we have to sign and it sends it the EFX?
Yeah, exactly. So the ATP, I'll prepare the transaction there. Yeah, it will send the EFX 230. Yeah, so that's enough in the budget for it. Yeah, that will just be executed and go to Candy. What's it called? Candy dot
That DeFi.
DeFi. Yeah.
And then Rochelle, you're working on the Chinese translations, right?
Yes, and so far I cannot get anybody in house. Our old Kraft Heinz translators. One I was able to contact, but she does not have the availability. So,
There's EOSBs if you want to talk to them. They're the ones who translated my grant.
yeah.
Yeah, they do 5 cents per word, and they're pretty quick about it as well.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, no problem to translate. Like, I think you can just take care of it now, Rochelle. Like, either go to USBs or anywhere and get. It's about the pitch deck we made, right? The document. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, up to you. Just get it translated.
Okay.
Of course, Effect will pay for it. So, but yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
as long as you give them like the raw document so they can edit the text, I think that wouldn't be. I don't think it'll be too expensive.
Okay. I will handle that. If they're that quick, we should probably see it. I think by Monday, you'd think, right?
Yeah, I think so. It took 2 days for them to translate my grant, and that's a lot more text, I think. Though I guess the only issue is if like they can translate like it's like a PowerPoint, right? Or the equivalent on Google.
Yeah, it's Google Slides, which we can give them access, make a copy, and give them access to that one. Yeah, I'll get it set up. I'm looking their stuff now.
So what happens next when the funds are in their wallet? Is there any action required? Does some of us need to get in touch with their team on setting up the next steps, or will they just take care of it? You probably know best, DJ, because
Well,
you've reached
the
out to them
first two
before.
steps they wanted was to transfer the EFX and then have promotional materials ready, and the Chinese stuff, I decided to just say to recommend that as well because they have a big, Chinese speaking audience. Um, so maybe my answer is maybe there may need to be more. I can ask. I know they wanted to kind of have. They suggested a dual AMA where community members from both communities can ask questions about the other project. Like if any effect community members had questions about other like DeFi box stuff, like their vault and like their loans and stuff like that, and then in the reverse. So that's why I think it's good to have those Chinese translations because then it could kind of prompt interest from their community, and maybe they could ask questions. So yeah, maybe like an AMA later on. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds good. Maybe are you talking to them on Telegram? Because maybe we can create a group and me and Rochelle can be in there as well, just to take on some of the organization around doing an AMA, getting the Chinese translations to them, and sort of the plan for cross marketing.
Yeah, a group chat's a good idea. I'll add you too, and then tell her so we can use that.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, let's do it. From our, if Rochelle and me are both in that group, then we can we can take on the coordination, just to make sure it gets pushed out
Yeah.
quickly and we get everything to their side in time.
Yeah, I think it'll help because coordination-wise, we'd want to share it too once it's ready.
Cool, sounds good. Nice. Yeah, so that's clear. I think the proposal has zero no votes, 24 yes votes. So that's good. From my side, no questions on the DeFi box. Like if we have a group and figure out the next steps, then it should be no problem.
Yeah, aside from that, there's Pomelo. The season is ending today, I think, or rather, it's the last 24 hours. So
Yes. Cool. It's the last day. Yeah. Let's see.
yeah, it's so you were talking about this in the Discord channel. Is the DAO able to access the EOS in the treasury?
No, it's like not directly. So there's no direct link between the DAO smart contract and the treasury, because the foundation is sort of the custodian there, as there's a lot of funds in. So it's like a multi-sig treasury, but like the foundation is acting like as a custodian on behalf of the DAO because the funds are from the DAO. So if the DAO decides to change the authority or to change anything or to withdraw funds, that can happen, but it needs to happen through a proposal. So if the DAO basically posts a proposal to extract funds from the treasury, that would be a valid way to get funds out. But it's definitely not liquid in that it needs a proposal to get out of the treasury.
Oh, that's fine because that's how David envisioned it, right? Because you would, well, I think, well, we'll see how your pitch goes tomorrow, but I don't think you've thus far met any of the goals, so I think we'll go to the next season, right?
Probably, yes.
I didn't reach my goals either, but I think I have enough to create a demo prototype because I kind of, well, rather, like, I think I've been playing around with GPT-4 and it's pretty even better, really, and pretty confident it can help me build this out pretty quick. And then it can continue the kind of like the grand plan, which is with this project, this creates basically can create data sets for any blockchain, starting with EOS, and then afterwards, I'll be working on it because Ocean Protocol has their own libraries for uploading data sets to their marketplace, and so my first prototype step would be so I could scan the EOS, for all its NFTs, process them using the Hugging Face models, and then upload this data set to Ocean Protocol. And then I think with that becomes very extensible because we could, in the future, like as a separate project, do more of this data. Like perhaps the DAO would fund an EFX grant to pay workers to rate, the tags, like, so we can see like how good are these tags really when you look at like 100,000 images. Are they like 100% accurate, 90% accurate, stuff like that? And then we could like post it on Ocean Protocol, and I think that could be a good way both to outreach to Ocean Protocol, show them, hey, we exist, we can do this type of stuff, and also it can kind of be a way to outreach to the AI community as well, showing that we can evaluate models. So I think that's like kind of the goal of what I want to do these next few months.
Nice, sounds good. And yeah, I'm also excited. It sounds like a great product, and it would be amazing if you can get it on, if you can get some pipeline working for, yeah, the basic pipeline and getting it on Ocean. I think that structure would also be really applicable for, yeah, integrating with Effect Network and doing manual annotations, which I would be very interested in to see if we can get that done from the DAO, or like to see if we can embed some campaigns in that pipeline once the basics are there. But yeah, good luck. I'm really happy to hear even if you don't reach the goals, that you're still motivated and interested to build the first steps.
Indeed, sounds like you have a pretty solid plan of how you want to continue. I was wondering though, how do you plan on paying for the using Hugging Face? Isn't it going to be expensive to do so many queries?
No, I can run it locally.
Okay.
I have a 3090 Ti, so I think EOS only has 2 million NFTs, and of that, a lot are duplicates because they're using templates. So I'm pretty confident my hardware can process all of EOS, and then maybe I have enough for Wax. Maybe it'll take like a week or something, but like I don't have enough hardware to process all the NFTs on Ethereum, for example. That I think would be too out of scope. But I think I can do EOS and maybe Wax.
No, cool. I'm very interested to see what the result is going to be and how
Yeah,
long it will take.
Yeah, and that's also the goal of I want it so like with this repo, you could use like the idea is you could use your own hardware. You don't have to pay for anything. Uh, well, maybe the Elasticsearch instance, like that part is kind of unavoidable. 'Cause if you want to make a demo online, that's unavoidable. But at least getting the data, you can do it all locally. Because I think that's like a big expense. Because like the GPU instances are very expensive. Like it's like I think an A100 is like $2 per hour or something like that, which is insane if you're like want to run anything like for a long time.
Yeah, cool that you can run it locally though. That's nice. It's cool. Yeah, like for most models are actually quite affordable to run, I guess, if on your own hardware, which is definitely the way to go if you want to do these types of experiments. All right. So for Pomelo and David, yeah, I guess your intention is to just go for the next season and refine the idea a bit with Hugging Face and the integrations and stuff a bit better, and then just go for the next season, right? You're not going to carry this on because it was on behalf of the DAO, but I guess the initiative is from your side, so it's kind of up to you what's happening next. But if I understand what you just said, you're planning on taking it to the next season.
Indeed, I do think I want to work a little bit on it on in my free time and kind of at least get a basic template started, and enter in some test data just to prove it to myself that how it'll look and how it should function for the worker. And later on, I can focus on the meat of the problem of actually hooking up Hugging Face. But indeed, for now, the meat and potatoes of this whole grant, I'll be moving it up to season 6.
Nice. Clear. Maybe there's one proposal that I'm writing now, that I just, it's not yet published, but I will publish it for the next cycle for the bank of liquidity funds, because I missed a few cycles. It was supposed to go in 10 batches. We did 3 right now. I did miss the payout. Like I forgot to bridge some of the funds over and put them in. So I did that earlier today because the harvesting wasn't working because the farm ran low. But I do need to get more funds over. But I wanted to continue on the proposal that was done before about using some of the funds of like we skipped a few cycles that had no proposals. There's quite a few funds basically available in those cycles, but because the DAO system wasn't like it doesn't account for anything like if there's no proposals in a cycle, those funds are basically sort of undefined what happens with them. So now we have ATPs in place. I wanted to make a proposal for basically getting like a chunk of the pancake swap rewards by recycling some of that of those unused cycles. So we have like, I don't know, I'm making a small overview, but we have quite a few cycles that have 326,000 EFX that hasn't been used. They're sort of, it should be in the DAO wallet, but because we never, like the system wasn't in place to handle those funds, they're currently not. So I wanted to make a proposal for grabbing, say, 3 of those cycles, or a bit less, maybe 2 and a bit, or maybe just grabbing 2 cycles, getting those funds into the wallet of the DAO, so we can actually spend them with proposals. So we get some extra budget basically available, and creating the ATP to. This will be one ATP, of course, with all the actions in it. But then to basically transfer a big chunk for the pancake swap fees, so we can catch up and we don't have to like keep doing all these cycles. But there was a proposal about this a while back that got approved, I believe. So it's in line with that, to basically use those funds of the leftover cycles, which now we can finally do neatly with an ATP. So I was going to write that out. Maybe you guys have any inputs on that already. If it makes sense, feel free to comment.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think this kind of is similar to the idea you had of kind of revamping, like the structure of the. Like I remember you were talking about how to make things more like efficient to automate.
Yeah, it comes close to there. The efficiency to automate was mainly that I wanted to stop doing budgets. And actually, if you look at what we're doing now, it's already coming close to stop doing budgets, because we have the proposal that's accepted now, and it's about transferring 230,000 EFX with an ATP. But because it's an ATP, it doesn't like have a constraint of budget in there. So it doesn't really a recycling policy with 3% going to the fee pool, 70% of the leftovers going to the treasury. That sort of doesn't really work anymore with ATPs anyways, unless we make it like very complicated. So my proposal for simplification is to stop using budgets. We just make sure that DAO gets funded from the treasury to the DAO wallet, and that's the funding that DAO is available. And there is no per cycle budget anymore. There is just there is an inflow of funds from treasury to the DAO, and that's the funds we can use. And then we drop the budget constraints per cycle, which are kind of complicating things, and especially the automation part. But this would be the same basically, because we're gonna grab maybe 2 leftover cycles and use that to fund the pancake swap pool, which would exceed the cycle budget. But because it's an ATP, we can do it. So yeah, this is sort of a prelude to the next proposal, which would be like that I want to write out a bit more clear, but that will say to drop cycle budgets and just make sure we're going to have we're going to have the DAO wallet. It has this much liquid funds in it. I'm working on a visualization as well in the new dashboard, the DAO.affected network, where we can visualize this is the amount of funds available in the wallet, and that's basically that proposals can use for funding, right? And then there will be like a sort of a system in place that every 2 weeks, funds from the treasury get released into the DAO wallet. And instead of doing I call it complicated because it's it's kind of complicated. There's some manual steps involved. The recycling of the funds. We could just write a proposal that says, look, we have such a big budget right now in the wallet. We basically want to send some back to the treasury. We could do that if we want to, but I don't think there's going to be a big need for that. So that it relates to it, right? So it will come afterwards. But this proposal that I'm going to make for the current cycle would be mainly just getting quite a big chunk of EFX basically out of the treasury, because we'll go from the treasury to the DAO wallet and then from the DAO wallet to the PancakeSwap pool. And it would be around, I need to do the calculation, but I'm guessing around like 600,000 EFX. Might be a bit more, maybe even 900,000, around that range, just to fill up most of the remaining pending rewards. Anyways, that proposal will come out like tomorrow.
So then the ATPs can go take all from the treasury, right?
Well, ATPs can only spend from the DAO wallet, not from the treasury. So from the treasury, actually, we
the
need
DAO
to.
wallet is DAO proposals.
Yeah, that's DAO proposals.
Okay, because right now it only has like 82,000 EFX. So where would the 600,000 come from?
Let's see. DAO proposals, well, it only has 82,000. So there is another 326,000 coming in from for the next cycle, which comes in like when the cycle starts. But that's going to be consumed largely by the proposal of this cycle that we have for the for the DeFi box campaign. So in order to do the proposal for like the 600,000, that would be like basically 2 cycles worth of going to the PancakeSwap rewards. Those funds would have to come from the treasury as well. But the problem was that they were supposed to be coming from the treasury, but they never were because of there not being any proposals in those cycles. So it's kind of like the treasury it's part of the DAO, but we also call it out of circulation. So the only way to get it into circulation would be via a proposal to get treasury funds into circulation, and it needs more signatures, also from the foundation, for example, to get those funds in currently. So that's the extra hassle. So we would need to identify how many cycles were never paid out because there was no proposals. That's going to be an X amount, and the DAO would have to vote that it's okay to bring those funds into circulation because they were supposed to. If we decide that's what was supposed to happen, because it's kind of undefined behavior. What happens when there's no proposals? So it's a bit of a complicated situation that we need to clear anyways. And I guess this is just the start of it, to come up with a better, simple system for the DAO wallet and the treasury.
So then the idea is we end recycling, and it's more like the treasury is unlocking the 26,000 EFX every cycle.
So this, yeah, in the simplified version, what I want to propose in first instance, but this will be my proposal for me to discuss with everyone else, would be like, I think it's better we just say for the next quarter, for the next 3 months, we're going to bring in this amount into circulation for the DAO to use for funding. and that will be approved. We're gonna do like a big transaction for basically 3 months worth of funding. We're gonna define the cycles for 3 months, and then that's the funding part, and then the rest will be just ATP spending that funds in how we're and how we see fit. Another possible solution would be to give the DAO access directly to the treasury, but it's kind of, I don't like that solution because I feel there's just too much at risk. The DAO is being actively developed still. We have all these updates coming. I feel it's just very risky to give the DAO access to such a big, technically, like to give technical access to the DAO for such a big chunk. I think it's just from a security perspective, way better to only have, and also from like a logical perspective, if you look at things that are in circulation and not in circulation, we want the DAO to be sort of, to have a pacing in how much it can spend over time. Because that's just a way to pace, make sure that we have a long runway ahead of us when it comes to the EFX funding, because it's the biggest amount of EFX basically that's currently available. That's there in the DAO treasury. So yeah, my proposal would be we sort of take a time frame like quarterly. We transfer quarterly budgets to the DAO's wallet, so it's available liquid in the DAO wallet, and then the DAO can basically use ATPs to spend that amount of fix for the quarter.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm guessing we can always have a mechanism for emergency situations in order to supplement a quarterly budget if the need ever arises.
Yeah, we could. It's yeah, definitely possible to like for example, now we're looking to get 600,000 extra EFX into circulation because we, like, I want to make the case that it should have been, because of the undefined behavior of empty cycles, it should have been in, basically remained in the DAO wallet instead of being sent to the treasury. So yeah, we definitely, you can always make an exception. But the thing is that whatever is in the DAO wallet that's sort of liquid, that's funds to use, they can programmatically be spent by the smart contract. So it means if a proposal approves, these funds get spent, right? It's really in the decentralized sense. When it comes to the tokens that are not in circulation, we really need approval from more parties in order to bring them into circulation, and it needs to be like an active decision, like we're going to bring this amount of tokens into circulation. So it's not directly spendable via code, basically, to get into the treasury. And I think that should remain, at least for a little while. That should remain like that, I think, especially because of the security implications of having that many funds in a smart contract.
Yeah, agreed. I can imagine there will be people who will start trying to target it.
For sure, yeah. And the hackers are gonna put more effort into finding weak points if there's funds in there, right? It's like that's kind of the formula. So yeah, for sure.
So then with ATPs, does it then screw up the governance rewards calculation?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It does
Because I'm
screw up the
wondering,
governance.
we had the system of like 30%, but I'm wondering if we just, like, from everything you've told me, it seems like we want to refine it so it's much smoother, less complex, and more automated. So why couldn't we just like, what I'm thinking is basically we increase the budget and make the governance rewards a static amount, and then, so like for example, I think it's 326,000. So we can make it say 74,000. Well, actually, we shouldn't even. There's no real reason to keep it to the 326,000. Maybe we can just say 325,000. I don't know. Maybe this is just like a number thing. But anyway, so 325,000 for distributed to the DAO proposals wallet as liquid DAO funds to be used either through regular proposals or ATPs, and then 75,000 EFX distributed as rewards every cycle, kind of ending that system we had where we kind of had a proportional share. And this way we don't need to calculate anything complex. We just distribute, the same amount every time.
Yeah, I like it. The 30% actually came from, like, I think that was the first proposal in the DAO that sort of came up with that 30% recycling, which kind of, or 30%, I mean 30% for the goes to the fee pool. Yeah, it's definitely that was someone came up with that and it was implemented and approved. But yeah, I agree. That would be a nice solution to have a static amount. I think way better. Or what I was thinking, we could also do it like just embed whenever a proposal is paid out to take it from to add a little a little of the amount that's paid out, maybe 10% goes to the fee pool, which is a different mechanic. What it would also be quite easy. That would actually mean that a portion of this funds that are spent, that are basically invested into proposals, that a proportion of that goes to the fee pool. That would also be possible because we can embed it in the ATPs.
I don't know.
So you would just get the
I don't know. I
ATP
feel
with
like
a
that
percentage
would
going to the.
disalign the incentives there a bit, though.
Yeah, it would change the incentives. Like
for
I think,
example, it may
in my
encourage
mind, more
people
aligned there. But
to kind of, like, basically the more expensive a proposal is, it may encourage them to, like, I'm not saying now, like, because there's so few, but like a long-term thing is like we don't necessarily want people to have an incentive to give out more, right?
yeah, no, true. So I
It's
don't know,
kind of
like
similar
the
to
funds are
how,
there to
sorry,
use, but it depends a bit, right? You can look, yeah, it's two ways. Like they're also there to be used, I guess. So if you're gonna, right now we're encouraging people to not vote for proposals because it would give them more more fees if there's
Yeah.
more left over, and this would switch it around that we're encouraging people to vote for proposals because they would get a little bit of that. But also there would be a lot of funds if it's a bad proposal. There would still be a lot of funds wasted, a lot more than you would gain as
Yeah.
a fee probably.
Yeah, I feel though static is the best, since the way I see it is just I think it was always intended just to be an initial reward, and the real any real rewards would be from uh the transaction fees.
True. Yeah, static is actually I also really like that mechanic. I think maybe even prefer um, a static reward. We would have to think about. Yeah, I think that could be embedded somewhere, and then or just no reward is also an option. But I don't know. That's maybe a bit a controversial one. Um, Especially as there's the rewards are still very slim that are coming from other sources than from the cycle. So maybe it's not that won't be appreciated, but in the end, that would be more ideal to just not spend cycle budgets on Guardian rewards, maybe. But yeah, I guess we have those three options that I would all consider. Maybe the static one is the nicest. Um, yeah, we can make some estimate what would be a good amount that we would feel comfortable with, like to go statically to the people. But yeah, no, I think it's static or proportion of paid out would be my preferred. Yeah. But in any case, I think it will really it will make it more clear and it will be more automated. Just to give you guys a little update, because I talked about this in the last DAO call, and I haven't shared any visuals or demo, which I was planning on, but it's not there. So you have to wait a little bit. I did share it with a few people already. But I'm working on a few things. But I think a nice thing to share with the DAO really soon would be an updated dashboard. I quite some ideas and things I'm implementing that I think will be a really nice update. The primary thing I've done now is to revamp the homepage a bit. Maybe went a bit deep on that, but like just to make the homepage really clear on the current active proposals, proposals that are coming up, and like the current state of the cycle. So if we're like if there's any high guard action pending, it would show that basically on the front page. The front page would show next upcoming DAO call, and here's the agenda, and add an item to the agenda, like some more sensible information instead of your stake tokens. And then to restructure the menu a bit, like the staking page should show some nice statistics of total amount staked and some graphs, and the DAO page should maybe show, you know, the high guard, the DAO members, profile pictures updated, just a bit more sensible. And also the big update would be the ATP forms where you can add different types of transactions for proposals. But it's taking shape, so I'm hoping to share that with you guys really soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Are you gonna? I know the effect force like numbers are kind of like not working right now.
Yeah, those are removed now in the in my version. Those are removed.
But it would be nice to have like some sort of number because it is all like look upable now. Just need to make the right calls, right?
Yeah, definitely. So more statistics. I'm gonna end up with a big list, I think, of cool things. But yeah, we could get. I am visualizing in the new version the current cycle and how many fees came from Effect Force and how many fees are in the currently be already like that will be distributed in this cycle. But it would be cool to have some statistics on tasks done, users, and we can get those now from the blockchain. So it's a good point. But because it's broken, I removed it. And definitely cool to add that as well.
Hopefully that'll attract a lot more DAO members to come back and be more engaged.
Yeah, I hope so. I just wanted to give that quick update. I have to leave in like now actually. So yeah, I have to jump out of the call. But I just wanted to give that quick update. Yeah, I'm excited. Like when I have something to show, we can I think have more in-depth discussions on features to add and work on that roadmap. I had a good call with David today to discuss some of the longer term planning on things we wanna start promoting and building, and this is one of them as well. So yeah, it's gonna come soon.
All right. Yeah, it's too bad you have to leave. Yeah, I wanted to ask about the hackathon and stuff like that. I don't know if you've looked into Dora hacks yet.
Yeah, I would love to discuss the hackathon. I have to like really go in like 2 or 3 minutes, but Dora hacks I have only briefly looked at it. I looked really good actually. I was quite impressed I didn't see anything wrong with it. It looked really attractive to use. I don't think it's that expensive either. I wasn't sure about the pricing, but yeah, it sounds like a great option.
Yeah, I think like I guess as a quick like idea to think about is because I've been advocating that we get ready for the EOS EVM, and they did a hackathon for the EOS EVM. So if we could just try, to figure out a way, maybe talk with them or talk with whoever, so that we can have, just like, because the last hackathon we did, most people used the Binance Smart Chain, right? Because it's easy. And I assume it's going to be the same case with EOS EVM, where you can just use MetaMask. And so that could be a good way to get a lot of interest from EOS developers to build something, and also like have a good hackathon in general.
Yeah, true. Yeah, really interesting to see if we can embed EVM. So I'm planning. Yeah, I don't have it clear in my head how that looks, but I think there's definitely many ways. Like just having MetaMask EOS EVM integration would be a minimal cool thing to have before the hackathon, so we can attract participants from the EVM side, but actually to have a cool, like a bridging system or like a more integrated part. I think there's a lot of options we could investigate, but I still have to try that out, see what we can do. I do have to jump out now, so sorry for let's talk about the hackathon in Discord and on the next call. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon.
Bye, Jesse.
See
Cheers,
you.
bye-bye.
I'm also looking forward for the hackathon. I think it will be a good idea to bring some more attention back again for people to build on Effect.
Yeah, I think because there's a lot of developers on EOS. Like I mean, it's pretty competitive on Pomelo, but I think just getting acquainted with all of them, it's good word of mouth for when we have a hackathon to kind of see if we can encourage them to join. And then with EOS EVM, it kind of gives them an incentive to encourage it as well, because they want dApps on EOS EVM. So I think there's a lot of like mutual gain that can happen if we act right on that.
Indeed. One of the big cons that I had in my mind of using DevPost again was that it was very expensive, and I also, which did help us get in touch with a larger audience compared to usual. But I do think now we'll be able to draw upon those EOS developers. Those are the ones that we would like to attract. And it's also a lot more clear in my mind which communities we can engage and advertise to let them know that we will be having a hackathon soon.
Yeah, hopefully we can get like really good dApps, because you don't necessarily need hundreds of people. You just need like the very, very motivated people.
Exactly. And I do notice that people will come as well, like if they see an opportunity where there is some money on the table and there isn't a lot of competition vying for that money, that people will then try to fill in that niche.
Right. Well, I guess we covered everything in this DAO call.
I think so too. If there wasn't anything else you wanted to talk about.
I think that covers it all for me. Good luck on your pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks. Will you also be pitching tomorrow?
No, I pitched on the first one.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm curious to see how it's gonna be. But yeah, thanks. I should manage.
Yeah, I think you'll do well. All right, then.
Yeah,
I guess
thanks.
we'll talk again on Discord and in the next DAO call.
Will do. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.